Accept the truth, and as a fresh graduate, my income was pretty low. My company was at a rich people's town called Lafayette in California. It was so hard for me to find an apartment with a relative low rent. Also allowed me to have free.
Well, I lived here for 16 years, so I'm very familiar with how friendly and the reason why I started this business is because I wanted a community of, people can come in and feed their pets with high quality foods. They can groom them.
I think San Francisco is probably more pet friendly than other places. There are supposed to be more companion animals in San Francisco than there are children. So that says something about our values in San Francisco. The current climate of renting is so hard right now. I'm sure everybody knows that. That restrictions like you can't have animals come into play a little more easily.
Every apartment I've been asked for, they need to have an extra deposit for pest damage, and there's really strict restrictions for the breed. Husky is not one of the breeds that is accepted by the owners. It's just a common sense that people will have is any kind of dog or any kind of pets, they can cause damage to the property and the furniture, the cabinet.
Everybody's worried about puppies chewing. I think people are worried about the smell. They think that pets smell, and that when the people leave, that they'll have to do something like repaint the apartment. Maybe that they're not house trained. I think that's probably a big one.
But actually, if they're well trained, those damages totally can be avoided.
A lot of people don't know a lot about things like house training. I think it's a lot about making sure people's expectations are going to match up with reality. So I think a lot of people come in and say, well, when I was a child, I had a dog, and the dog was like this, and this dog looks like the dog from my childhood, and I expect him to behave the same. Not a ton of people who don't work in a shelter have a ton of experience with a lot of animals and have seen how different they can all be. And I think we run the risk of really disappointing people by saying, oh, I want this dog who looks exactly like a dog I once knew, and then they don't behave that way. So we end up talking to people for a long time about that. And we do really believe that training is a good thing, especially for dogs, and that's about communicating with a dog. It's not maybe about teaching them to sit. That's a helpful thing to do, but getting the people who come in the door to really understand how to communicate with their animals and to read if they're upset or to read if they need something different from their relationship. We're all about the relationship and the bond between human and animal. So a lot of our animals are from animal care and control across the street. We have an agreement with them that we'll take anybody from them pretty much who we think that we can rehabilitate and adopt out. Sure, they have to take anybody in that shows up on their door. They also have animal control officers who go out, drive out in the field and pick up animals who've been hit by cars. It's very different. We have different levels of funding. We also don't have to take everybody in, so we don't have to find a spot for everybody. We can say, we don't have enough space. We can wait until some animals get adopted and then take in more. If you've chosen an easy animal like a kitten, lots of people, especially during kitten season, are like, I've had kittens before. I know that they can be really active. I know that I'm going to have to train them not to scratch the furniture, things like that. And the kitten has no behavioral or medical concerns. That can be under an hour. People fall in love with a kitten and leave with a kitten. For a harder dog, like Penny, where people may not have any experience with her behavioral concerns, it can take several hours to explain them, and people might want to sleep on it overnight, and we do offer that as well.
You know, you have to make sure that these dogs are going to loving, wonderful homes, and that they're going to be in a safe environment.
Usually my salary, I think it's about average people. So I think I won't adopt another dog until I have my own house. And there should be regulations to protect them and to make sure they stay with their beloved ones.
As a homeowner and a landlord myself, I personally have that personal experience.
And I think animals do bring a huge amount to people's lives. I think they're great at building community and making people empathetic.
You know, I think a pet is part of your family and should be welcomed and in your home, and it's just like having a kid. So I think that there should be more landlords with ownership, the people that own buildings should be a little bit more flexible.
I believe any pet, any dog, any cat is a member of the family.
You can really sympathize with a little kitten or a little puppy, and that makes you a better actor in your community. I think it's probably pretty important for who we are as a city. We do say that we are a very pet-friendly city. I think it's important to our identity